Canaan Lidor. I'm a reporter for the Times of Israel. I used to cover the Jewish world and religions, and now, like everyone else, I cover the war. Throughout this war, the north has been a second active front. Most recently, I traveled to Majdal Shams, a placid Druze village at the foot of the Hermon mountain. I know Majdal Shams, like most Israelis do. On the way to the Hermon, you stop by, and you have Labane, a Druze pitar. And this time was completely different. It was the scene of a horrific tragedy. In Majdal Shams on a Saturday afternoon, sirens rang out, then instants later, a 50-kilogram warhead rocket from Lebanon hit the soccer pitch, killing 12 kids and wounding 44 others. It was one of the worst atrocities that I've witnessed in this war, and I've witnessed several. I walked down to where the rocket actually hit. First thing you saw was the pocked walls, 100, 200 meters away from the crater of impact, actually. Just gives you an idea of the indescribable force of the impact. You could see the scooters of kids charred and scattered around the place where the rocket hit, leaving a white crater in the limestone, just meters away from a shelter that had been placed there just days earlier. But because the rocket hit so close to the shelter and because of the sirens, a lot of people there think that actually the kids who got killed, they were the ones who ran for the shelter, whereas the ones who just ducked on the ground survived. You can see the twisted frame of the goalpost, actually, and the fencing around the soccer field. A pretty upscale soccer field, and instantly it was transformed into the scene of a massacre. When I got there, you couldn't see the blood. The blood had been washed off. They were still picking up body parts, though, from around the place. One of the victims, his body essentially evaporated because it was directly under the impact, and he was presumed missing for almost 24 hours because they just couldn't find him. And it happened in Majdal Shams, but it's really one community of about 25,000 people scattered, distributed among several villages. So all these communities were just devastated and suddenly looped into this war that they felt fortunate to have kind of stayed out of so far. The Golan was not as heavily targeted at all as the Galilee, and now it's the scene of the worst atrocity yet in the north. It was, they were dignified affairs. It's not very customary to air your emotions. The anger and the emotion came after. After the funerals, people started coming back from them and talking to the media, and not only to the media, but to their fellow Druze residents. And they all assembled on the pitch. That was the place where the people who had something to say came to say it. And we saw Samir Halabi demanding a response, demanding that Hezbollah burn, that Lebanon burn for this.
אנחנו מבקשים תגובה מיידית בממשלת ישראל. זהו, מספיק.
And then we saw also a local politician coming in and trying to kind of tamper him down, because the Druze of the Golan are a pretty special case. They, for the longest time since 1967, when they came under Israel's control, they have presented themselves as occupied Syrian civilians for good reason, because there was ongoing talk about giving the Golan back to Syria, and then how would they look if they came out in support and joined their other Druze brethren as Israelis. And so there was this standoffishness, there was this reticence about belonging to Israeli society, which I think the attack on Majdal Shams on July 27 changed for the foreseeable future. To be a reporter at this point in time, first of all, means taking on risk.
Is this job worth it?
This job of being a reporter, definitely worth it. It's I don't know what I would do if I didn't do that, especially now. Terribly grateful for having the opportunity to be at the forefront of it. I guess it's just the way you're built, or maybe the job shapes you, but I couldn't think of myself doing anything else.